And I'm Jeff Smith. Thanks for joining us. So the Purdue Exponent is suing Purdue University over access to surveillance video.
The video is from the day Andrew Bolt was murdered inside the electrical engineering building. News 18's Elizabeth Rentschler joins us with more on what the video shows and why the Exponent wants it released to the public. Elizabeth.
According to the paper's general manager, the video shows the confrontation between an Exponent photographer covering the shooting and Purdue police. The Exponent says not releasing the video to the public violates Indiana's public record law, but Purdue University officials say they have every right to withhold that video. Purdue Exponent General Manager Pat Coonley is one of only a few who's seen the video.
The suspect in the case was treated with more dignity than our photographer was, and I think the public needs to see that.
That video is surveillance from the electrical engineering building on January 21st, the same day student Andrew Bolt was murdered in the basement of the building. Coonley says the surveillance is from the second floor and shows what happens after police asked the photographer to get down on the ground.
He's pulled up by the collar, walked down the corridor of the hall, and as he's walked down the corridor of the hall, he's pushed against the wall by a Purdue police officer, and a second one comes running up at him and barks at him.
Coonley says the photographer was detained for several hours. His equipment was broken and confiscated. Coonley says the Exponent filed a Freedom of Information request for the video, but was denied. Now, the ACLU is suing the university on the Exponent's behalf. ACLU attorney Kelly Eskew says not releasing the video is a violation of Indiana's public record law.
We're only asking for the video surveillance recordings that pertain to this encounter between the member of the media and the police, not for anything that pertains to the crime that had occurred in the basement of that building.
But Purdue University officials say there are exceptions to the law, including releasing materials relating to a criminal investigation. They say the surveillance video is part of a criminal investigation and therefore doesn't have to be released to the public. But Coonley says the criminal investigation in the basement has nothing to do with what happened 2 stories above.
The video existed independently of the investigation, and therefore it should be seen as public records.
Eskew says the case will now go before a court which will review the surveillance video. The ACLU filed the complaint Tuesday, and Purdue University has 23 days to respond. From there, Eskew says the court will have a scheduling conference to set deadlines for the case. I asked Pat Coonley if they plan on filing any charges against the Purdue Police Department or the Sheriff's Office. He says their first order of business is getting a copy of that video. He says after that, they'll have to wait and see. Elizabeth Rentschler, News 18.